evening. I got all these people I got to let in the room.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Alice, is it a little bit late for you, my love? Holy crap. I think Alice is midnight over in England. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Irene. Hi, Nancy. Okay, good. Hi, Anne. Let's see. Hi, Gintana. Hey, Lucy.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. So we are going to talk about chronic healing. Oh, here comes Michelle. So my story goes that one of my dearest girlfriends, Deborah, reaches out to me one day and she goes, "Oh my God." And Deborah and I both have like three different Reiki master certificates in three different types of Reiki. And she says, "I found this guy. He does something called pranic healing, and you have to check him out." And I was like, "Okay." She said his name is Eduardo, and his sessions are not very expensive, and you got to give him a try. So, as I do with everything, I confer with Jesus, and Jesus says, "Buy 2 sessions with him." And I go, "Okay, great." So I meet with Eduardo on Zoom, and he starts working with me, and my eyes are closed, and I'm lying down, and all I can tell you is all I hear in the background is, I'm thinking to myself, "How is that?" I had no idea. So I do the session, I feel much better. I do another session, I feel much better. My mom has this tragic slip and fall accident where she conks her head, has 2 subdural hematomas, and for weeks and weeks, she's got a headache in the morning and a headache in the evening. And I buy a 5 session package with Eduardo, and I give my mom one. And he works with her, and she goes, "Lynn, I was lying there, and all I could hear was," I'm like, "I know, I don't know what that is, mom, but it works." And all of a sudden, her headache is gone. And I'm like, "Get out of here." So my girlfriend Deborah then calls and she goes, "Listen, Eduardo is going to do a demonstration on what pranic healing is. I think we should go." And I'm like, "I'd love to find out what the heck he's doing." So he's working with this person, and I can see the energy. I'm very, very clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient, claircognizant. I channel, psychic medium, all that stuff. But the thing that I find mind blowing is he's working with this person's energy, and I can see the energy. I can see what he's doing. Like, I know what he's doing. And I'm like, "This is crazy. I have to get trained." So I reach out to him and I go, "Eduardo, tell me how I do this thing you can do." And he goes, "Well, this whole system was created by this man named Master Choa Koksui, who was a Chinese gentleman born to a Chinese family in the Philippines. He was an engineer, came from money, came from education. And at 5 years old, he started studying religions." I'm like, "I'm all in." So I find out that there's a center on the East Coast that's huge, run by a couple, Master Maralog and her husband, Master Glenn. Master Glenn is a doctor, and they've got people all up and down the East Coast doing pranic healing. There's also a man named Master Ko who's in California, and well, hello, Mindy. Hello, Sister Pranic Healer. Mindy just said that those are her teachers, her teacher's teacher. I love that. So Master Ko teaches out on the West Coast. And I reach out to one of my best friend, Wendy, and I go, "Oh my God, I found out about this thing, pranic training." And she goes, "I was trained in pranic training." And I'm like, "Get out of here." She goes, "Yeah, back in the 90s by Master Ko when he could barely speak English." And I'm like, "Get out of here." So, I'm having all this confirmation that pranic healing is like the deal, right? Then Jesus starts saying to me, "By the way, pranic healing is how we healed when we were Essenes." And I'm like, this is mind blowing to me. So in June, I signed up for my first class, and it's now the middle of September. And in 3 months, I've taken 12 classes. I'm a little bit of a maniac. I spent an entire week up at the Omega Institute with Master Glenn while he taught with my teacher, Dawn. So Dawn Myers is my teacher. And I have a surprise for you. Dawn's going to show up in the last 10 minutes. She's actually with Master Glenn right now, and they're doing a full moon ceremony. And I said, "Well, I've got, 30 people that signed up for this thing. So please come in and make an appearance." So I'm reading this book most recently. It's called The Secret Life of Yeshua. And there's a section of the book where there's a man who had access to Yeshua's Akashic records. D. Lee May and Master Jing. Yes, I know who you're saying. Master Mei Ling. Master Mei Ling is Master Ko's. And yes, exactly. Okay. I'm sorry. Mindy and I are having a private chat here. So I'm reading this book, and last night I read this section where Yeshua meets his cousin John the Baptist. And John the Baptist's mother was Elizabeth, the sister of Mary, also known as Elisheva, and his father was Zechariah. So there's this scene where Yeshua, everyone knows him as Jesus, Yeshua leaves his body, and I got to read this to you because this blew my mind. It says, let's see, without any effort and with a sigh of well-being, my conscious garment left its garment of flesh and slid along a rock wall. On its way down, in a breath of silence, it saw other caves, similar to ours, with other hermits who were sleeping, praying softly, or meditating, eyes open in the night. But that was not where my soul wanted to go. Not next to them, with their bodies ravaged by hardships and passage of time. It was, I didn't know until I saw Uncle Zachariah's face suddenly impose itself to me like a bird's cry echoing in the night. I did not resist it. You do not resist such calls when they reached you in this manner. In what I knew to be my light body, I was totally free. I didn't even have to elicit from deep within the slightest wish. It instantly was at the bedside of Yohanan's father. Yohanan is what he calls John, in his poor mud brick house. The old man was not asleep. Lying on his mat, he was grimacing in pain while, one step away from him, Elisheva, his aunt, was curled up on her blanket on a mat. I immediately understood what was happening and that his suffering was intolerable, like most of those that often appear in the night silence. So this is the part where I started to freak out. How they describe prana or congestion, dirty prana or congestion, is as a gray mist. It literally says in the book, a gray mist tinged with carmine, which is the color red, was billowing out of the old man's right hip. I think my first reaction was to want to sit at the floor beside him to make some of the gestures that I had been taught in Carmel. And what you do in pranic healing is you do hand gestures. Excuse me for one second. Sorry, we had a kitchen distraction for a minute. So in pranic healing, you learn certain gestures for how to move the energy of prana. Everybody knows how fairies have different colors. Fairies have different colors because fairies are different colors of prana. Okay. The light spectrum, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. These lights are used in pranic healing. They're light that comes from your hands. They come from your fingertips. So he says, a gray mist tinged with carmine was billowing out of the old man's right hip. My first reaction was to want to go sit on the floor beside him to make some of the gestures that I had been taught at Carmel. Jesus went and studied at Carmel from the age of 6 to the age of 13. But I immediately saw that it was useless. My soul simply kneeled, combining the light fabric of its reality to his reality. So their souls are coming together. It was so natural, so spontaneous, just like this movement that my hands swiftly did to gently touch his exhausted and injured body. And you can understand he's in his light body. He's not in his physical body. He's having an out-of-body experience. He says, yes, I was there entirely in the hands of my soul, living nothing else but the ineffable certainty of offering the life of my Father, God, in me. I felt it so deeply. It flowed forth from my palms and my fingers as a source of water would have done to the hollow of a rock. I was drinking it myself without any desire or expectation, but fully immersed in a stream of love, which was in no way mine. Literally, the light comes through us to remove the congested and dirty prana. He says, no doubt little time had passed in this world before Zachariah's face began to relax and the dark/light mass started to fade from his hip. My soul didn't try to do more than that. I let it withdraw and then rise slowly to the room ceiling made from branches, catching a glance, in passing, of Zachariah who, with eyes wide open, was peering into the darkness of the room. So I read this and I'm screaming and I'm jumping up and down and I'm sending messages to Dawn and I'm like, Dawn, they're talking about pranic healing in this book about Jesus. So I have a couple paintings that I have purchased in my life. These paintings are 4 feet by 3 feet. And one of them that I asked the artist to make with me was one of Yeshua. And she painted this painting and then she had to leave for a while to come back to the painting. And here's the painting. But look at his hands. You see what's coming out of his hands? That white light energy is called prana. It's also called chi energy. It's also called ki energy. It's also called pneuma. It's also called mana. There are so many. It's literally the life force breath that we breathe. Look at that. This is his halo. They talk about the aura. And look at that light coming out of his hands. Now, another painting that I commissioned was my higher self. And there's a class called, oh my God, there's so many classes. There's basic prana. Can you tell I'm excited about this? There's basic prana, there's advanced, there's psychotherapy, where you learn how to use the colors and you learn how to use electric violet. So the first time I'm in the class doing psychotherapy, working with electric violet, all of a sudden Saint Germain shows up. And I happen to know him. We're like on a first name basis. I'm like, what are you doing here? And he goes, the electric violet, the color that you're using. I go, oh my God, is that the violet flame? And he goes, exactly. Now, you're only supposed to use it on certain chakras in the body. You got to be really careful how you use some of this stuff. So anyway, there's basic prana, advanced, basic pranic healing, advanced pranic healing, psychotherapy. There's a class on crystals. Oh my God, you get to use crystals now. In the class that I'm teaching, we're learning how to talk to the crystals and how to program the crystals. And there are all these crystals that you use. So I'm like, now they're talking about talking to crystals. Guess what? I talk to crystals all the time. You learn how to clean the crystal, consecrate the crystal, program the crystal, and pray over the crystal. Okay. And you say, crystal, remove all previous programming, extract, absorb, disintegrate, and expel any congested or dirty prana. And then you assign it to a particular chakra in the body. So I have that big extractor. I have this laser wand. I have something called a disintegrator when you need to actually pop the dirty prana. You don't ever go towards a person's body. You go down or you go sideways. And then I have a crystal knife, which unfortunately cracked. So I got to get a new one. But you use this to cut cords. I mean, there's so much to this. Listen, I didn't plan what I'm saying. I'm all over the place. So you'll have to forgive me. I'm just so freaking excited. So here's what I can tell you about this. Master Choa, Yeshua said to me, as most of you know, I channel Yeshua. Hold on, I got to turn off this alarm or it's going to come back. So Yeshua says to me, Master Choa is an aspect of me. I'm like, really? Do other people know that? And he's like, some do. So Master Choa studied Buddhism, he studied Hinduism, he studied the Kabbalistic tree of life, and he studied Christianity. And you understand he grew up as a Buddhist. Wait, I just heard my cat meowing. Where's my cat meowing? So when I get to Eduardo, I'm like, what are you doing? And he said, I'm working with your 11 chakras. And I go, 11 chakras? I thought there's only 7 chakras. And he goes, no, we're using the Kabbalistic tree of life. And I'm like, get out of here. You know about the Sephiroth? I said, but why 11? There are 10 Sephiroth. And he goes, because we use the hidden one called Da'at. And I'm like, oh, you know about Da'at? So I'm completely enthralled now because, you know, they're talking about all the stuff that I studied. I've been studying Kabbalah since 2008. I went to Israel with my Kabbalah group. You know, I laid my hands on a grave. My psychic gifts and abilities opened up. I'm telling you, like, this is crazy. So I order a painting of my higher self because in the class that's called Achieving Oneness with the Higher Self, they say there are cords that come into the body. 3 spiritual cords. It looks like 1 silver cord, but there's one at the moment of inception. There's one at about 7 months, and then there's one at about 3 months after birth. And your higher self attempts to speak to you all the time. But here's the nonsense that we have. We have the nonsense of newspapers. We have the nonsense of drama. We have the nonsense of iPads and iPhones. We have all the things that we use to distract us from just being able to sit in silence and hear the voice of our own higher self. So I asked Matanya to please paint my higher self. And this is the painting that she did. This is known as Sahaniel. She is known as She Who Remembers, the keeper of what? The Akashic Records, one of my fields of mastery. And look at the prana coming out of the middle of her hands. Like you can't make this stuff up, right? So, by the grace of God, Dawn, my teacher, is coming to my sanctuary here at my home in New York to teach basic pranic healing the last weekend of September. And then she's going to teach advanced in psychotherapy the first weekend of October. Now, these guys don't let this be done on Zoom, but she does. She has permission from Master Mirilog and Master Glenn to teach using Zoom. And so she's going to be teaching on Zoom. Here's what I'm telling everybody, and I'm obnoxious about it, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm obnoxious about a few things, but I'm really obnoxious about this. If you have ever felt in your life that you have any healing abilities within you, how many of you feel like you've got some healer energy within you? Okay. How many of you feel like you've got some shit you want to get healed? These both hands. Okay. How many of you would like to be able to heal yourself? Right? Or to get into a community where what people are all about is doing healing. It's the craziest thing. So another one of my students, Raymond goes, "Oh, I got trained to do pranic healing." I'm like, "You little holdout. Why didn't you tell any of us?" He goes, "About 20 years ago." I'm like, "Raymond." So Raymond's now, he's like, "Well, I trained with someone who trained with someone who trained with Master Co." He lives in Singapore. This healing is now in like 96 countries around the world. Okay, so here's what happens in my world. I'm working with one of my students today. She's one of the people that I mentor. I go, "How are you doing?" She goes, "I burned myself." She had this huge burn mark. Mindy, you're so adorable. Mindy's like, all of the above. Um, so Laura Lee has this burn marker on her arm. And I go, "Okay, hold on. I have a big bowl of salt water on the floor that I have to empty into the toilet every night so my cat doesn't drink it. I have my trusty little spray, Master Mirilog special sprays. And I say a prayer. You say an invocation. You know, divine source, heavenly mother, father, source creator, master teachers, loved ones, Master Choa Koksui, Master Guru Guruji Mei Ling, I think it is. Teachers, loved ones, angels, everybody, please come and help me with this healing. That's my invocation. It's usually not pretty, but it's okay. They get the message. They talk to me all the time. So I put my left hand on my heart because my right hand is dominant. By the way, this is a crystal that Master Choa had designed, and it's covered in gold, and it's in the shape of a six-pointed star, and I use it as a blessing. You wear it in the middle of your heart. I bought all the crystals. I was like so into this thing because Yeshua was like, "Do that, do that, do that." There are these 16 little mini extractors that you position all over the body. Anyway, so I say my prayer and I start doing this cleaning. And cleaning is where you take your hand and you cup it. And from right to left, you put your tongue on your palate, you focus on light whitish green coming out of your throat, and you literally focus on clearing the dirty prana, the congested prana that's caught inside of a womb. So I start doing this clearing with her. I start doing this clearing with her. I start doing this clearing with her. I'm scooping it. I'm flicking it into the bowl. I'm spraying my hands. I'm clearing it. I'm doing all the things. That little now I'm the perpetrator of this. People are like, "What are you doing? What's that noise?" And I go, "Okay, touch it." And she goes, "Oh my God, there's no more pain." And then she was in class later today, and I asked her. Tanya was there. She knows. There's no more pain. Like the stuff. So the very first class I went to, I said to Dawn, it was a Friday night. I said, "Dawn, I'm so sorry. I sat in this class for 4 hours. My back is killing me. I can't attend the class." She goes, "Turn around." 2 minutes of her doing what I didn't know at the time was the scoop and the flick. And I'm like, "What did you just do?" There was no more pain in my back. 20 years, 19 years ago, I had a yoga injury. So 19, and I'm rounding up, like 20 years of chronic back pain was gone. Just And miracles like that keep happening the more classes that you do. So I'm going to another crystal training class this weekend in Roslyn, which is a half an hour from me. Then I am hosting everybody here and online for Dawn's class at the end of the month. Then Dawn's going to do advanced in psychotherapy at the beginning of October. Then I'm going to Paris for my birthday. And then I'll be back and I'll find more Pranic things to do. All I can tell you is the greatest thing that I can tell you is this is how Jesus healed. He used light, colored light, many colors light. So the queen of the fairies, her name is Gay Landriel. She came to me earlier this year. There's a video on YouTube of me channeling her. And there's a exercise that I teach in which I teach people how to use a fairy wand to do some healing. And she came through and she said, thank you so much for employing us. We love that we're being remembered by you. I've been teaching this technique for years now. And she just came through to another one of my students and said, we're thrilled that you're going to be doing the Pranic training, the light training with Lynn at her center. Her name is Terry. And Gay Landriel came and talked to her. So when you start to get confirmation, because you're not crazy, but like the videos I put up, either I'm completely crazy or I'm completely sane and I know things. So Gay Landriel's showing up saying, thank you for putting the fairies to work. The fairies are agog. They're so excited about the different light prana that they're in charge of. I don't know. They're like, there's so much to this. So you can learn how to do this. And here's what I promise you. You didn't trip and fall and get here by accident. 20 something people signed up and you are the 10 that are here. You're here because some aspect of your higher self or your soul called you to be here. So I want to open the floor to any questions you may have. I'm by far not an expert on this. I've been doing it for 3 months. I'm a crazy person about it. I bought 9 of the books. I'm going to take all of the classes. There's 21 in the entire series, and Jesus goes, okay, calm down. It's going to take you 7 years to master this. And I'm like, I'm in. Whatever it takes, I'm in. But, I bought all the gadgets. I bought the crystals. You literally hold now. When Jesus left Earth, he said he did 2 things. He said he imbued his energy into rose quartz and rhodochrosite. Okay. So in the crystal class, they're saying you put a ball of rose quartz in your left hand, your non-dominant hand, and then you use the laser in your right hand, and the stuff that you would normally do scooping with your hands, because one time I over scooped and I didn't cleanse enough. And I woke up the next day, my hands were like this with dirty prana embedded in them. I'm like, what do I do? And they go, you got to clean your minor armpit chakras. So I did that and then everything was fine. So this is how it goes. So fun. Okay. Enhancement crystal in the left hand, laser crystal in the right. And you literally go into the chakra and you clean here and you clean here and you clean here and you clean here. And then you go in and you clean it and clean it and you pull it like a corkscrew and you throw it into the bucket of water that's over there. And then you eventually have to clean the crystal because you're programming the crystal to do the work for you. It's fascinating. So how many of you love crystals? Raise your hand. Right? Like, who doesn't love crystals? They are sentient beings. They want to be of assistance to humanity. They're here to help us. Now, one of the reasons why I do this is because there may or may not have been a lifetime in which I was or was not a monarch in Atlantis. And we may or may not have deprogrammed the crystals that caused the sinking of Atlantis. I wasn't the only one. There may or may not have been a bunch of us that did that. It caused the destruction of that civilization. So they're like, hey, you want to go back to Earth and make up some karma? Well, I'm like, absolutely, send me down. I'm ready. Coach, put me in. So that's part of what I'm here doing on Earth now. So my life is channeling Jesus, channeling Mary Magdalene, about 28 other ascended masters. This, by the way, I put this little box together because I love things like this. These are the 16 little mini extractor crystals. I don't know if you can see that. But what you do is you say, crystal, remove all previous programming. You spray the crystal, you clean the crystal. You can use incense, you can use prayer, you can use sunlight, you can use a spray. Crystal, remove all dirty and congested prana from Lynn's crown chakra. Extract, absorb, disintegrate, expel. Extract, absorb, disintegrate, expel. I'm lying on a table and they put this crystal next to my head. And they go to the next crystal and they go, Crystal, remove all previous programming. Extract, absorb, disintegrate, and expel from Lynn's forehead chakra. And you go, wait, forehead chakra? I thought it was the third eye. No. Da'at, which is the hidden Sephiroth, corresponds to the forehead chakra. The forehead chakra corresponds to what? The pineal gland. The ajna, which is the third eye chakra, corresponds to the pituitary gland. You learn all this stuff. I'm fascinated. I can't stop talking about it. Everybody's like, your broken record. I said, I know, and I don't care. It's so real. So if any part of you feels called to participate, the class is $500 for basic. I think advanced is $650. Psychotherapy is $600, something like that. But there's a discount if you buy the whole package. All this money's going to Dawn. I'm not here. This is not how I'm getting rich. I got other ways I get rich. But if this is anything that you want to do, if any part of you feels called to this, again, you're here, so something drew you here. Come do this training. You will thank me. You will like it's everything. We all grew up. I think are we all women here? You know, we grew up as little girls and all we wanted to do was be happy. At least that was me. I wanted to play outside. I wanted to have dolls. I wanted to, we had Barbies, like we had Barbies galore. I just wanted to live this happy, happy life. And then life didn't always turn out to be that way. Sometimes there were mean people, there were mean girls, you know? But can you still do this without seeing? Yes, absolutely. So one of the things that I teach people in the materials that I teach is I teach people how to open up their clairvoyance. I teach them how to open up their clairaudience so that you can see, so that you can hear, so that you can feel, and you can know information from source, from spirit. You don't have to have amazing clairvoyance to do this. I was just blown away because I was like, holy crap, I can see what they're talking about. But one of your strengths, Alice, is your clairsentience. You have a capacity to feel people. Alice and I know each other. She was over from England and we got to have lunch together. So I know things about her. And one of the things that I know is that your clairsentience is really, really strong. You have incredible empathy for people. So while you may not be able to see it physically with your eyes, you're going to be able to feel it. And you can always ask people. So what I need is a volunteer. Who has some pain somewhere that they would like to have? All right, I saw Anne first. All right, little Annie, we're going to do this. Hold on, I'm going to go over here so I'm near my salt bowl. Hold on. Taking you guys on a field trip. Astro, that's my cat. You didn't finish your tuna. Does anyone else spoil their cat and they buy the cat fresh sushi? That would be me. I do that. All right, here's my bowl of salt water. So water attracts, and then the salt dissolves the dirty prana. You only ever want to empty this bowl into a toilet. Don't let your cat drink it. Astro tried to drink it one day. I lost my mind. So that's why I have to keep the bowl up on the table when I'm not around. Okay. So this spray is so cute. It's called the Shibungi spray. And what is Shibungi, you ask? Shibungis are the crispy critters inhabiting one's energy centers that are produced by stress and other negative thoughts. Listen, we have so many negative thoughts that we think about ourselves and others. And what it does is it impacts our energy. Like there's the chakra, and the chakra moves in, the chakra moves out. And inside of the chakra, there's this little shield. And the shield can get holes and tears and have all these little creatures living on it. So this goes in and this clears it out. They are produced by stress and other negative thoughts, emotions, and contamination from surroundings. The Shibungi spray is a highly effective tool that can be used by all energy healers, especially for psychotherapy and emotional cases. And it literally is just distilled water, alcohol, some essential oils, and some prayers from Master Marilog. Master Marilog makes these sprays. And oh my God, they smell so good. So good. All right. So Annie, can you unmute, please, my love?
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Whew. So tell me, what is the condition that you have that made you raise your hand?
Low back pain, maybe the SI joint.
Okay. All right. So one of the things that they teach you is how to scan a person's body. And you do so by measuring a person's chakra, the width of a chakra. You can measure it this way, and then you can measure it this way. Like they say it's like how big the bowl is and then how much water is in the bowl is what you're measuring. Okay. So what I'm going to do with you, Annie, what they're telling me to do right now is to use light whitish green. So there's different colors. So red, orange, and yellow, you focus on the basic chakra, the root chakra. Um, for blue and for green, you focus on the throat chakra. And then for violet and electric violet, you focus on the crown chakra. So right now they're telling me to do a general sweeping with you. So I'm going to do a general sweeping over the front of you and the back of you. And then they're telling me to do some clearing on your basic chakra and what is called your Meng Mane. And the Meng Mane is the back of the navel. My cat's looking at me like, what are you about to do? I had to do some healing, Astra. Astra's this gorgeous 14-year-old 14-year-old Norwegian forest cat who thinks he's still a kitten. So he actually thinks he can fit inside of this little wicker basket that I put on the floor. Astro, say hello to the people. Love this cat.
Pretty.
He's a beauty. Beautiful green eyes. Okay. Masters, teachers, loved ones. Master Choa, Master Guru, Mei Ling, Ascended Masters, angels, archangels, visible and invisible. I ask you to bring divine love, divine guidance, divine healing, and divine help to the healing that I'm going to bring to Anne. Keep wanting to call you Annie. Here and now, thank you, thank you, thank you. Always grateful. Okay. So I'm focusing on my throat, touching my throat, managing light whitish green, imagining light whitish green coming out of it. I'm putting my left hand on my heart. Okay. So now I'm going to do what's called a general sweeping. So I imagine you about a foot in front of me, and I'm going to do 5 swipes down, actually 10, 5 with my hands cupped, light whitish green coming out of my throat. And then I do it with fingers wide open. And what that's going to do is start to loosen up energy cords that have been congested. And you do this 10 times on the front, 5 with the hands scooped, 5 with the hands open. And it's really interesting. It's my hands start to get heavy. So I come over here and I grab my little spray. Light whitish green, light whitish green. I'm going to turn you around, the back of you. Light whitish green. Tongue on the palate creates a connection to the higher self. Light whitish green. Light whitish green. It's so funny. I can always tell in my fingers. I'm like, oh, I'll clean a little more. And I'm literally just spraying my hands to clear off the prana and directing it into the bowl. Here's what's crazy. After a few days, the bowl starts to get really dark. It's really crazy. Light whitish green. Light whitish green. Light whitish green. Light whitish green. Okay. Now, in the back of you, I'm going to do some clearing on your basic chakra, your Meng Mane. Okay, let's see. So now left hand on the heart, and I'm going to start to sweep your basic chakra. And I'm checking in with guidance, and they'll say 5 times, 7 times, going up to the main, just clearing. You'll already start to feel lighter. Okay, back of the solar plexus. So another one of the chakras that they talk to us about is the spleen, which is on the left side of the body. Okay. Do you ever have problems with your shoulders?
Yeah.
Right. So what happens is the energy can't move up, doing the back of the heart right now. And it'll go up to the shoulders. Okay, I'm going to clean. So they're showing me what would be considered like a heartbreak. Okay, I'm going to turn you around. I'm going to clean the front of the heart. Light, whitish green. Your mom's passed?
She's had a couple strokes though.
Okay. Okay. The throat. Okay. The ajna, which is the third eye chakra, is the one that controls all the others, all the hormone centers, all the energy. You're going to open it up a little. Has your mom's health been, like, has it had an impact on you?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. They're going to have me sweep you with what's called electric violet. This takes a little longer. This comes out of the crown. So imagine the white electric light that comes out of a welding knife, welding gun.
Mm-hmm.
And then imagine putting a ring of electric violet around that. That's literally the color that's coming out of my crown, out of my hands and my fingers. Tongue to the palate. So funny. Literally, like by the third, my fingers start to get really heavy. And then I'm telling you, this is magic. You literally spray your hands and all that heaviness is gone. It's crazy. Do not spill this water. Make sure it goes in the toilet. All right. How are you feeling right now?
Good. I don't
That-
feel my back. I know that.
Right?
Usually I do feel it all the time. I don't
Look,
feel anything.
turning you around, I'm going to, like, look at this. I'm telling you, this is the real fucking deal. love to curse, but especially when there's emphasis. So I have 31 healing certificates, right? From all the shit I've done in all my years. I'm about to turn 63, so I've been at this for a minute, right? But I'm telling you, these last ones that I've gotten through the Pranic community mean more to me than anything. And they're like, oh, we haven't even touched the surface of what's available in this community. There's a whole level that's called the spiritual level. Like I've done the healing level, and in the spiritual level, you learn what's called arhatic yoga. And arhatic yoga is like the stuff that they hide in the Vatican that they don't talk about. The stuff that in Buddhism and Hinduism and Kabbalah they don't teach. And they teach it in this. Master Mahaguru Guruji Mailing, that's his name. Okay. Cutting the cords. Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for help. I now release. And so it is. All right. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
You can't pay enough for this shit. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like, this is the real deal.
Oh, yeah. How long will this last? It's pain-free.
No, it's done. It's out. It's gone.
What?
I'm telling you, she healed me. She's going to be here in a few minutes. She healed me, and I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, how is that? I'm like, you look for it. You're like, wait, where'd it go? When's it going to come back?
Yeah.
So what happens is we've now opened up the energy in your body. And so you may go, oh, the sciatic is back because there's stuff in the feet or there's stuff in the knees, you know?
Mm.
Of course you can do it on yourself. Yes. So here's what you do, Alice. You imagine that you're lying on a table and you can do the crystal things. You imagine there's a little 12-foot version of you and you sweep yourself. You clean yourself. You know, there's like a little mini me version in front of you. It can be you or anybody else. Look, if you don't want to heal other people, that's fine. But if you want to heal yourself, use these tools. I'm so obnoxious about it. Please forgive me. Don't forgive me. Just listen to me. Seriously. If you were one of my best friends, I've already, like, all my best friends are like, I'm like, you're coming. Like, we can't not have these tools. Jesus literally said, this is the way that I healed. Is there anybody else here that wants to heal the way that he healed? I do.
Mm.
I'm all about that. All about that. So look, there are centers all over the world, 96 countries. You can find this stuff everywhere. If you're on the East Coast, come learn from Master Glenn and Master Maralog and from people like Dawn. Dawn has committed her life to this. She went in search of meditation. Okay, so here's one of the most important things. There's a meditation that Master Choa has created. It's even on Apple, and it's called the Meditation on Twin Hearts. And the twin hearts are the heart and the crown chakra. And you do these like 5 to 6 minutes of exercises before you do the meditation. You roll your eyes to the right 12 times, you roll your eyes to the left 12 times, you turn your head to the side 12 times, you move your arms back 12 times, you move them 12 times, you twist 12 times, you move your wrists, you move your feet, you move your knees 12 times. Then you sit down and you do the meditation. And the meditation will blow you away because you're lifting your hands and you're healing earth. And they've measured with like electrodes on the head. And there is no meditation that is more fully brain engaged and brain balanced than meditation on twin hearts. Like, it's been documented. So then when you're done with the meditation, you do the exercises all over again. So the whole thing may take you a half an hour because it's like 5 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of meditation, 5 minutes of exercise. But then there are longer ones where you can do self-healing in the meditation. I think those ones are like 35 minutes. So the whole thing may be 45 minutes. So half an hour to 45 minutes of the most, and what they do is they measure your spiritual cord. And the more you do this, the bigger your spiritual cord gets. Like, it's crazy. And then you're in communication with your higher self. I'm very lucky. I have a painting of my higher self right here. She came and I'm like, did you come for me? And she's like, of course I came for you. This is my big, beautiful painting of her. Is that not magnificent?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm dressing up as her for Halloween. I got the gold crown. I got the hair.
Just have to stand up.
Seriously, I'm okay. Annie, tell us what you're feeling.
I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything.
right? You're like, how's that possible? When's it going to come back? How is it possible that I lived with this pain for so long and now it's gone? Hello.
Yeah. 30 years.
Dude, I get it. Mine was 19. 2005, I was in a deep spinal twist, very flexible. A new little yogi comes over and I hear pop and the disc between L4 and L5. I mean, they help you deal with trauma. They help you deal with obsessions. They help you deal with addictions. They help you deal with phobias because all of this is within the energy system. I mean, if I bring over the books, all right, I got to bring over the books. Hold on. Oh, books. I don't think I can carry them all in one trip. Oh my God. Oh, okay. These are a few of them. And Master Choa, man, his energy. Oh, so the first healing that I have with Eduardo, I go, Eduardo, there's an Asian guy here speaking to me in Chinese. He goes, ask him who he is. And he introduces himself as Master Choa Koksui. So Master Choa Koksui shows up at my first healing. Okay, so this is the first book. Okay, it's called Miracles Through Pranic Healing. And this is prana. Then there's Advanced Pranic Healing. And they take you out in the sunlight and you actually see these bubbles. Then there's Pranic Psychotherapy. This is the chakras, Pranic Psychotherapy. Then there's Pranic Crystal Healing. And you learn how to use the crystals to do healing because there are devis or beings live inside the crystals. Then there's, oh, I did this one too. This was really cool. Psychic Self-Defense. And then there's one called The Spiritual Essence of Man. And this is where he uses the chakras and the inverted tree of life. This is the Kabbalistic tree of life. Okay. Keter, Chokmah, Bina, Hesed, Gevurah, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malchut. So if your soul brought you here, which it did, come to the paradise. All right. Dawn should be here any minute. This confirms so much of what I already know. Yes, yes, yes. Listen, you're not going to sit here and go, I never knew that. You're going to go, I always knew that. It's like, it's just going to blow your minds. All right, let me message her and tell her to come on over. Does anyone have any questions? I know I was so all over the place. But like, this is from my heart. I know, Annie, you're like, where did it go? Is it going to come back? Can I really trust this? I know. Every once in a while, I'm like, shouldn't my back hurt? But
Can I do anything to aggravate it? Or
oh, wait, here she comes. Here she comes.
Okay.
Only if you want to put yourself in pain, you psycho. Okay. So, oh, she's just connecting to audience. Okay, ladies, this is Dawn Myers. And Dawn is my teacher. And listen, the painting I showed you, tell me she doesn't look just like Dawn with the blonde hair and the green eyes. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are no accidents. So, Dawn, this is the lovely group of ladies who have shown up tonight. There's 10 of us here. And I told them everything. We actually did a healing on Anne. I was told to use light whitish green on front and back of her. And then I cleared her chakras. And then I was told to use electric violet. And Annie, you want to tell Dawn what happened?
Well, I had bad lower back pain, like where my SI joint is, and it just kind of faded away. I guess I could say that. And I'm still
looking
a little nervous that it's there, and I'm just not.
She's like, can I bring it back? Like, yes, psycho, if you want to be in pain.
I don't, I mean, like, I don't want to do anything to make it come back, but
That's
I
beautiful. Well done, Lynn.
yeah, I just can't believe it.
Donnie, I told him what you did to me that very first class. I was like, I can't stay, my back hurts. And you're like, turn around. And I'm like, where did it go? Anyway, ladies, this is Dawn Myers, my beloved teacher.
Oh, namaste, everyone. So nice to see you all. What a
Namaste.
lovely group of people. So Master Choa Kaksui, the founder of Pranic Healing, he says that miracles are utilizing natural laws that most people are unaware of. The existence of God is self. Mindy, that's great.
Oh, Mindy's been trained. I mentioned Master Miralog and I mentioned Master Glenn, and she's like, those are my teacher's teachers.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
Mindy's one of us. She's a sister.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's a whole system of healing that was developed by a man named Master Choa Kaksui. And energy healing has been around since the beginning of time. It's not like he introduced a new, right? Like this has been part of how we naturally support each other energetically. But he synthesized the system into taking the most effective tools and techniques and putting it into the simplest form so that we could keep up with our modern lifestyle and do all the things that we love to do, have a family, have a business, be successful in all areas of our life, and still be able to perform these miraculous healings. Like, I think that that's miraculous. And if you had pain and Lynn over Zoom was able to, like, it's hard to comprehend. Yeah. And we look for it. Like, where did it go? Like, how did that happen?
Yes, I'm still feeling for it.
But Master Choa, he says miracles are utilizing natural laws that most people are aware of. So over the course of like the way that he organizes this practice is that he kind of lays out very simply but systematically stacking information that informs us, but yet connects us to a depth of understanding ourselves that it's almost like we're remembering. Because we know this innately about who we are. But this world, this outer physical world, does not support that like rich inner life that most of us as kids were so connected to and felt. But we've been trained literally to focus on the material physical world. So this information, it helps to inform us, but it's not like foreign to us. If anything, it reaches us at a level where it's like we feel like we're being seen and acknowledged like never before. And it feels really good. It feels really good. I found this practice over 13 years ago. I worked in corporate America. I lived in Manhattan for 7 years. I was not into healing. I was not into spirituality, but I did have chronic anxiety. And it got to a point where I would like wake up with panic attacks and I couldn't function and I couldn't go to work. And it was like I had to do something about this. And I tried everything from modern medicine to therapy to Ayurvedic, Chinese medicine, like you name it, I tried it. And nothing could provide lasting result. So finally I found this meditation, the meditation on the twin hearts, which Master Cho guides. And this practice has transformed my life so much that this is my full-time career. I'm a full-time healer. I teach almost every weekend. I love this.
Amazing.
And I feel like it awakens that part of us that many of us are longing for. So that's just a little bit of my passion and excitement, but I'm happy to answer questions if anyone has. I'm sure Lynn beautifully spoke about pranic healing and her journey. So I'm happy to answer any questions about me.
I was a
or-
maniac, but please, you guys, we're so lucky to have Dawn here. Please ask her any questions. And as I mentioned, she's coming not this weekend, but next weekend. She's coming 2 weekends to lead the basic and then the advanced in psychotherapy. And it'll be my 14 classes in 14 weeks.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Anybody have any questions? I mean, they were here, they witnessed it. I did a little,
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
How do you know which color? Oh, light to use. So I'll kind of explain the first weekend that I'm coming. It's basic pranic healing, which is like the foundation of pranic healing. We learn about energetic anatomy. the aspects that make up our energetic being. We learn how to take care of that energetic body, right? So how to keep it clean, how to replenish it with energy. We learn those fundamental principles about like who we are and how to support that energetically. So that's the first weekend. It's full, it's a lot, but it really gives you the full basis of who you are and how to help heal yourself and others energetically. The next class is advanced pranic healing, and that entire class is based on using color prana. And Master Choa teaches that we can actually generate these color pranas ourselves. It's very unique because many practices use, it's not alive. It's like flat color, like light or glass, like projections of color. But we can actually create this color, and it's living color, which is highly utilized in healing, and you can see super effective. So in that class, you go over the full spectrum of how to use these color pranas for which ailments. Just using color prana makes you 30 to 40% more effective. So what you learn in the basic class in terms of how to heal, now in advanced with the color prana, you can accomplish so much more in the same amount of time. And the purpose of that class really is to take on more of the complex cases of healing things like diabetes, cancer. You learn how to regenerate damaged organs and cells, which is incredible. I have some really fun stories about those types of healings, but you learn in that class where you generate these colors and for what situations.
Dawn and I were up at the Omega Institute where she and Master Glenn were teaching an entire week of all of the 3 classes. And in the midst of that, I got a message from my sister that my brother-in-law had COVID. And I walked up to Master Glenn, and he was in the middle of trying to do a healing for a family member of his who was very, very ill. And he literally took the time, he grabbed my phone, he turned on the recorder, and he spoke the entire healing protocol for COVID into my phone. And the very next day, my brother-in-law is like, I feel fantastic.
Mm.
Can you talk a little about the work you all did with COVID? Because that's extraordinary to me.
Oh yeah, that was a beautiful time. COVID, it was like this huge upheaval of fear, right? And separation. And during that time, as healers, we were actually able to really like rise in our faith and come together as a community. And we created these healing groups or pods, we called them pranic healing pods. And we would join online. And in the beginning, when COVID was really bad, we would join for like 4 hours a day, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night. And we would heal everyone and anyone who had COVID. If it was like the neighbor's sister, like we would heal everyone.
Mm.
And as a community, it really helped us to live in a place of faith and possibility in a time when everyone was pulled apart in fear and separation. And that went on for years. There was over 600 of us who were in 60 pods around the world. And collectively, I think we did over 500,000 healings that we documented. And many of us had to go back to work, but I still have my pod. We meet twice a week, and we now do cancer cases. So once you learn how to do healing, you're welcome to join at any level. As soon as you take the first level, you can join. And we had it today from 2 to 3, and Thursday 2 to 3, and we heal cancer cases mainly, but some other cases that Master Glenn sent us as well. And it's just beautiful because I think in our human, like in the truth of who we are as humans, we want to help and we want to connect, but this outer world is telling us that it's hopeless or we can't, and we feel this like empty stuckness. Once you learn how to heal, you'll truly never feel hopeless or helpless again, because there's always something that you can do. Always. If they're in the hospital, if they have COVID, if they have an infectious, like no matter what they have, it's not guaranteed that you're going to save everybody, but you personally will always live in a place that I did my best and I did everything I could to help. And that really has like a beautiful feeling to it.
One of the questions that was asked earlier are these techniques that we can use on ourselves? And then Alice just said, also wondering which chakras is it okay to use the violet flame on for daily cleansing?
Yeah, I've heard the violet flame. I think Master Ko sometimes uses that in some of his meditations. That it's a unique practice that's not taught in the books. The violet prana we learn more in psychotherapy, which addresses the emotional psychological aspects of healing. That's the class that when I took it, I was like, this is gonna fix me. And I'm going to teach this someday because had I known about this class, it would have saved me years of suffering. And I really think our society is in desperate need of mental health support, and pranic psychotherapy will open your eyes to what mental illness really is and how energetically we can help support people. So that's mainly the violet, electric violet. Once you learn the techniques, you can heal yourself as needed. You can heal, like we heal on the go. We heal, like stress comes up, we heal it. So you can heal as needed. You could do daily healings if you have a major condition. I have 2 boys. They're both teenagers and both taller than I am, and I heal them all the time. They ask for healings. Healed of dementia. Yeah, we do have a protocol for dementia. It's very effective. Dementia is interesting. We often think it's just the brain, but you have to look at the entire energy body because the lower chakras feed the upper chakras. So it's kind of like a complex perspective. But once you learn the color pranas, you learn how to help to regenerate and revitalize parts of the brain that may not be functioning properly, but also how to strengthen the lower chakras, which are like the roots to the tree. What's really beautiful about Master Choa's teachings, he gave us protocols, which is like recipes. So you open it up, and if you have to heal this ailment, you follow the recipe for that. And he takes you step by step. So his awareness and knowledge of the in-depth energetic aspects to what these diseases entail was quite phenomenal, I think. So
I love that the books literally outline this is what you need to do, this is where you need to do it. And it's not just the major chakras, like they'll include things like the minor hand chakra or the soul chakra or the armpit chakra or the minor jaw chakra. I'm literally sitting at dinner with 2 girlfriends last Monday, and we hadn't seen each other in years, and I'm like, what's new? And one goes, oh well, I had knee surgery, and I'm going, excuse me. Literally erected a little green tower of energy, put my hand in my heart. I'm just sweeping her knee. And she goes, what are you doing? Flicking. And I said, oh, I'm just doing a little healing on you. And I go, move your leg. I swept like 8 times. And she goes, oh my God, what did you do? There's no more pain in my knee. Is that going to come back? Same question, eh? Same question. And then the other one goes, hey, I have TMJ. And I'm like, okay. And I clean her jaw minor chakra, sweep. I always carry my spray with me. Dawn gives us this little adorable little spray. I always have that with me. Sweep. And I go, how's your jaw? And she goes, I won't know till after dinner. Ask me after dinner. So we have our meal, and I go, how's your jaw? And she goes, oh my God, Lynn, there's no pain. I go, Deb, how's your knee? She goes, still no pain. And Annie, I understand, like, you're going to go, wait, is that really possible? Like, is it going to come back? Like, was that a miracle? So I literally practice this every single day. I find somebody, and I'm constantly healing myself. I'm like, oh, I'm tired. Cleanse. Water. I have to make sure my cat doesn't drink the water. The water gets emptied into the toilet every single night. That is a must. I got bowls all over the house.
Wow.
it is. It's beautiful. It's definitely a perspective of life. You definitely see life differently. And when I found this practice, it was like I felt like I kept hitting a wall that I couldn't move past in terms of personally, I had anxiety. But when I learned about this world of energy, it was literally as if the lights went on, and I could see why I kept not being able to move forward into progress is because I was never addressing the root cause, the underlying issues. And it's like what Lynn was saying, when you start to see the world through this energetic perspective, you always live in a place of empowerment that you can make a change or a difference. Like we don't have to accept pain and discomfort. We don't have to accept fatigue and brain fog. Like there's always hope and possibility of how we can move forward into greater, just like harmony and health. So I love that you heal all the time, Lynn. Anyone have any other questions? I know
No, I'm gonna go grab the links for the classes so you guys can take a look.
Sure.
There's a package. If you come to both classes, there's a discount that's offered. But I mean, can you guys see the light energy that shines off of Dawn? Like I'm telling you, she's the real deal. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Let me just grab this link so I can drop it. And if you're here, you're obviously in my world. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I started a whole new thing on my website where people can do payment plans, and you can use, I think it's Klarna or Affirm, to pay for it. It pays us right away, but it gives you guys an option to pay over time. So let me drop this for you. And this is the basic, this is the basic Prana one. And then let me get the advanced in psychotherapy. And Dawn lives in Atlanta, but she teaches around the world. And you can find her in other locations. Okay. Any questions anybody has while we have her, while we're here? Dawn, thank you so much for coming.
Such a nice group of people.
I do have a question.
Sure, Tanya.
Now, I know that there are, from what you were saying, protocols for everything. I have a gift of singing, and I had surgery on my something, 5, 6, something like that. But it was like 3 different ones. And it was like bone on bone. So they went in and they actually went through this way. So it didn't take my singing voice away. However, it did take my range away. So whereas I used to sing high soprano, so I had a range of high soprano all the way to second alto. Now I'm more of, I think, and I feel more of an alto.
No, tell the truth. It's a baritone. I've never heard the story. I'm just playing. I adore Tom. One of my new favorite people.
I love you too, Lynn.
I know, babe. I love you. I do, truly.
I know you do. And so I'm like, I want my voice back. I want
Yeah.
my voice back. I'm also, a radio host, internet radio. I'm in that arena as well. So, I just want my voice back the way it was given. So is there, and I'm asking this question. I already really know the answer to it, but is there a protocol for that?
Yeah. You know what's interesting about there are many, many protocols, but even if there isn't a protocol, what we learn at the first level in basic is how to scan energy. So we learn how to actually quantify how much energy is in certain areas, right? So often there's like a normal amount of energy that we have in each of our chakras. And if there is imbalance in the energy body, there's usually imbalance in our physical expression. So we learn, like the heart of our teachings is we want to bring balance to the energy body. So I would think if there's something going on here, that there's an imbalance. So if you learn how to cleanse that and revitalize, regenerate that,
Mhm.
you can strengthen that. We don't make promises because there are several reasons for why people get healed or they may not get healed, and we cover that too. But I would say most likely it will definitely help to strengthen it. In the advanced class with color prana, we learn how to regenerate, and we've done regeneration and like saved limbs from amputation and like regenerated parts of the brain of people with cerebral palsy. Like it's real, like it really
Yeah.
documented things. So if you wanted to regenerate and help strengthen your voice, I think that
Mhm.
that's a beautiful aspiration to strive towards in healing.
Yes.
Okay.
Through
Thank
God,
you.
all things are possible.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know,
it
Master
is.
Glenn, one time he said, bring me something difficult, no problem. He said, bring me something that seems impossible, and it just takes time.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love. I want to thank you all so much for being here. Donnie, I want to thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to have you come to the house. My mom's like, what? Wait, she's coming? It's like, she's like, I gotta bring the cleaners and we gotta do this. We gotta do that. So cute. So cute. We can't wait to have you here.
Very sweet. I'm
And
excited.
I would love to talk to you more too about being like
Metaphysics.
Mental.
and so Ding LeMay was underneath the same lineage path. And I also do stuff with Sai Ma, and she does stuff with the Violet Flame.
Mhm.
And there's many paths that I've been studying, and I just feel like I'm on this call because I needed to be connected with you. And so I'd love to have a further discussion as well with you.
Beautiful.
It was so nice meeting you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If anybody has any questions, you want to,
May I just interrupt for a second? Did you say Ding LeMay of mental physics and Tibet?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So that's what I've been
really
studying
special.
yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That is so unexpected. Okay, great. Thank
Yes,
you.
I've been an apprentice for the last 4 years, and I just started teaching about 3 months ago. And my
Okay.
sister has been my teacher, and she's been studying for about 18 years, 16 to 18, somewhere around there. And
Okay, I didn't
so,
want to get off this
Yeah.
track, but
Yes,
that
I-
was just so wonderful to hear him mentioned. Okay,
well,
thank
as soon as we heard about the teacher that you guys are all under, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is why I'm here. Like, it's the same lineage, and so there's magic going on.
so Ding LeMay was also trained by Master Choa.
I doubt that, to tell you the truth, but that's interesting
Was
to
it Master?
hear.
Was it Master?
I'm a minister from mental physics from years ago. So anyway, I don't want to get off on that. But anyway, thank you so much for bringing his name up. Okay, thank you.
So if there's any way that we can be of service, Alice is in England, so we're going to let you go to bed because it's now 1 a.m.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
thank you all for being here. Annie, enjoy this.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Bye now.
Dawn, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all. So nice meeting you all.
Much love.
Thank you.
We'll
Good
talk.
night.
Nice meeting you all.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
I love it.
Reverend Lynn.